Hello and welcome back my friends. I will rate each song of the Iron Maiden studio albums with a score between 1 to 5. 1 is bad, 3 is okay, and 5 is great. Every album receives an arithmetic average score. The rating is done according to my current opinion, not according to my memory or feeling. In the past, a song might have gotten a different grade than it does now. Use the comment function and tell me what is your personal favorite album. Let's start with the 17th and last place. 17th place with an average score of 2.82 is The X Factor, the first studio album with new singer Blaze Bayley. The album starts with the two strongest songs on that album, Sign of the Cross and Lord of the Flies, but that's it. The rest is very much forgettable. After Dickinson left the band, I had lost interest in Iron Maiden and in heavy metal itself. The next place is the second Bayley album Virtual 11. 2.88. The songwriting fits Bayley's voice much better this time, but it's far from a good album. Best track is The Klansman for me. Next two albums on place 14 with a score of 3.3. First, A Matter of Life and Death. Well, it started with the worst opening songs in Maiden's career. Different World. Well, the best track is the last one, The Legacy. I don't like that album that much, because on that tour, they played each song. I wanted to hear the Maiden classics, not the new ones, and not all of them. Maybe it's my personal stuff not liking the album. Same score, The Final Frontier. Some say that the album is the weakest, but it has some good tracks on it. When the Wild Wind Blows, El Dorado and The Talisman, but also some very average songs. 12th place is again shared by two albums, The Book of Souls and Dance of Death with a score of 3.46. The Book of Souls starts with the best track in my opinion, If Eternity Should Fail. The Red and the Black and the longest song of Maiden's history, Empire of the Clouds, are very good tracks too. But the rest is only average, and I also don't like the sound of Shirley's production. It misses the punch, the heaviness, compared to the albums mixed by Martin Birch. Dance of Death starts, again, not with a good track, but there are some quite strong songs on it. Rainmaker, No More Lies, Dance of Death, and of course, Passchendaele, but also the worst album cover. 11th place with a score of 3.7 is No Prayer for the Dying. Some call it one of the worst albums, but I like it. There are some good tracks and Maiden's #1 single, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. I also like Tail Gunner, Holy Smoke, No Prayer for the Dying, and Hooks in You. The music style is a bit like Bruce Dickinson's first solo album Tattooed Millionaire, a bit more hard rock than metal, but I like it. Coming to the top 10. 10th place with a score of 3.8 is Maiden's last album Senjutsu. It comes as a double CD album, but the best songs are on the first side. Title track, Stratego and Writing on the Wall are very good songs. My favorite is the Dickinson Smith song, Days of Future Past. On the second side the last song Hell on Earth is also good. Many songs are too long in my opinion, and the structure is always the same. 9th place with a score of 3.83 is Fear of the Dark. It begins with 3 super strong songs, The Heavy, Be Quick or Be Dead, The Swinging, From Here to Eternity and one of Maiden's best tracks, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, and of course the title track Fear of the Dark, a life staple. This album has a very rough and heavy sound, just like a kick in the face. This was the last album with Bruce until then, before he returned again. 8th place is Maiden's second album Killers from 1981. It scored 3.89. With singer Paul Di'Anno it sounded more punk than classic heavy. Wrathchild, Drifter, Murders in the Rue Morgue, Purgatory and Killers become classic Maiden tracks. It's not placed higher, because I like Bruce Dickinson's voice much more. Anyway, this album belongs into any serious Maiden collection. 7th place is a reunion album Brave New World, with returning of Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith. Now with 3 guitar heroes, this album begins strong with the first 4 tracks. It lost a bit at the end of the album, but it was a joy hearing the old and newly recreated Maiden back in business. My best songs are The Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator, Brave New World and Blood Brothers. The 5th place share 2 albums. The debut album Iron Maiden from 1980 scored a 4.0. 9 very strong tracks with no filler songs. It's a blueprint of many tracks in the later years. Strong and fast tracks like Prowler, Sanctuary or Running Free. Also a progressive song Phantom of the Opera. It's more punk than Killers, but very heavy stuff. Powersleeve from 1984 also scored 4.0. There are some great tracks on it. Ace is High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Powersleeve and one of Maiden's best songs forever, Rime of the Ancient Mariner. It may be ranked higher, but there is one song I can't hear no more, Back in the Village. Besides, the artwork of Derek Riggs is more than awesome. Fourth place is Peace of Mind from 1983. Score 4.11. It contains one of my top 10 songs, Revelations, and many more classics like Flight of Icarus, The Trooper, Still Life, Die With Your Boots On, and the outstanding and underrated song, To Tame a Land. It's about Frank Herbert's Dune novel. Third place with a score of 4.125 is Maiden's first album with new singer Bruce Dickinson from 1982, The Number of the Beast. It was my first Maiden album I bought back in the days as a teenager, and I immediately become a fan. The iconic cover impresses me very much, and also their raw power and outstanding melodies. Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast, Hallowed by Thy Name, The Prisoner, 22 Acacia Avenue, and Children of the Damned. Only 2 songs are not great to me, Invaders and Gangland. I rated the original album tracks, without Total Eclipse. Gangland replaced the song, but well, Total Eclipse is way better than Gangland. Second place is Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. It scored 4.25. I bought this album on its release day in 1988. On my first hearing, the album wasn't heavy enough for me, but it was better and better the more I heard it. This album has no filler tracks. You can hear it from start to end. It was Maiden's first kind of concept album. I like all songs of Seventh Son, especially The Evil That Men Do and The Clairvoyant. So, there is only one Maiden album left, and it's the number one, Somewhere in Time. Incredible score of 4.375. Returning from their first time off, the band adopted for Somewhere in Time, 1986, a different style they used for the first time in the band's history, synthesized bass and guitars. Also, Adrian Smith wrote more songs than before, and I like his style in Wasted Years, Stranger in a Strange Land, and Sea of Madness. The rest of the songs are great too, especially Alexander the Great and Heaven Can Wait. The bladder in a cover artwork is outstanding. Every time you look at it, you see something new. So folks, thank you for watching, and I would be happy if you subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you soon. Peace.